latest book, this Lost and Found. Now, this is a very interesting challenge that came into your life not that long ago. The challenge was mercifully provided by Bhagavan Bernie Madoff. He mercifully took away from you 30 years of savings to help you experience the essence of who you are.
Yeah.
However, you did not immediately experience the essence of who you are.
I'd say that was an understatement.
And you describe it in the book, how it starts.
Yes. For those of you who might not know who Bernie Madoff is, he ran a Ponzi scheme and ended up stealing $65 billion of people's money. And as my husband is very fond of saying, and not all of it is mine. So we did have our life savings in there, and we believed it was very safe. A friend of ours was friends with Bernie Madoff, whose father was friends with Bernie Madoff, and as my husband says, that you start believing in gravity when every time you throw a ball up in the air, it comes down every time for 30 years. So we absolutely believed it was safe. And then it wasn't. And then we got the phone call saying it was gone. And first I was shocked, and then hysterical, and then in terror, and then I called a couple of very dear friends and teachers, and two of them said to me, "You've lost your money, but nothing of any value is gone." And I said in that moment to both of them, now is not the time to be spiritual. I was convinced, like, don't give me that. We've lost our money. What are we going to do? We're going to be homeless. We're going to be out on the street. And what are we going to eat? And it was such a panic.
So I take it all, and I don't want shit.
You used to be lusty for me, right, but now you wanna be set free. This is the web that you weave. So baby, now rest in peace.
So over now.
And I started realizing it was going to be unbearable to live inside my mind. Live inside the mind that was telling me, what did you do? I can't believe you did that. What's the matter with you? How come you didn't diversify? Even a 4-year-old knows to diversify. And I started blaming, of course, everybody, and then myself, and the ranting and the raving was so intense that I understood pretty immediately that unless I brought myself back to what I had, not what I had lost, what was already here, which is that animating aliveness, or that indwelling aliveness that I've heard you speak of. Unless I could bring myself back moment to moment to moment, every single time my mind wandered, then I was going to be lost. I was going to be living in abject terror.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, just bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay your ship, babe. See, I'll leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do.
When I wrote Lost and Found, I found that talking about money was very difficult, not for me at that point, because I became so interested in money. I would talk to people in the grocery store. So, what do you think about money? And tell me about your relationship with money. And how much money do you make? I just became fascinated with it as a doorway into what we believe about scarcity and deprivation and what we're allowed to have and be. So I'm wondering what you think about that. Why money is such a difficult subject, really. Why people are more willing to talk about their sex lives, and in great detail, mind you, and what they've eaten and not eaten, and binged and not beaten, including things like stealing food and all of that, rather than talk about money. So I'm curious about what you think about that.
Well, it is true that for many people, the mention of it can bring about an immediate loss of awareness, even in people who otherwise have already embraced awareness in many aspects of their lives. And still there remains that there's a fear that not enough.
Yeah.
The ego is never feels it has enough.
Yeah.
And that particularly manifests in the area of money, because money can buy what is neutral, but it can become anything in the world of form almost.
Yes, right.
And so it triggers the insufficiency, the feeling of not enough of the ego.
Yes. Yes.
American life. American life. I live the American dream. American life. I tried to stay ahead. I tried to stay on top. I tried to play the part. I like to change my name. Will it get me far? Should I lose some weight? I'm gonna be a star.
And also that awakening, so to speak, was not possible for me. That's what I believed.
Yes.
I believed that I would always be sort of like a little busy beaver. I would be working at it and efforting at it, and I would be meditating, and even though I didn't really like meditating very much, I still wanted to be a good spiritual student. And even though intellectually I heard, yes, of course, it's your true nature, I still believed, well, maybe it's not my true nature. Maybe it's everybody else's true nature, but it's not true nature. And I think it took this to experience that aliveness. If I'm not aware of it, it's just a bat of an eyelash away.
Yes. I experience that on the park bench often, the intense happiness of simply the joy of being in that moment, where the mind, if it had come in, and occasionally it did, just briefly, it said, "What are you doing? And shouldn't you be looking for some work or do something?" But the thought didn't have any force behind it anymore. So
I always feel like if it's possible for me, it's possible for anybody. Because I feel like I've just about been as crazy as any of the people who have come to my retreats and workshops for 30 years. I mean, I've done it all. So I feel like, okay then. All right then. What Eckhart has been saying is true. It's not just a line. It doesn't just sound pretty. It's true. Because here it is, in this moment, with no money, not a penny. Here it is.
Yes.